Ladies and gentlemen, members of the opposition, fellow members of the proposition, judges, I'm here to propose the motion that this House would welcome a united Ireland. I'm going to start by defining what we mean by a united Ireland, the forms under which we would like to see take place, and further on, I am going to move on and talk about the economic effects for both Ireland, the Republic, and Northern Ireland. And my colleague Damien is then going to talk more about the cultural and sociological benefits. Now, moving on, so when we say United Ireland, we mean an Ireland where all the 32 counties belong to one state, one republic. In our model, this would happen after a referendum in both Ireland and in Northern Ireland. We are not supporting a military occupation or anything like that. No, this is entirely voluntary. But we do support a model where Stormont remains as a parliament in Northern Ireland, although without the current forced coalitions. So we believe that is the best way to go ahead, given that it will be the least amount of change, so to speak. So, because when treading in these kinds of monumental constitutional areas, you better tread carefully. So we'll keep Stormont until further notice. Now moving on. Moving on then. So why would this? If we start with Northern Ireland, why would this benefit Northern Ireland? So let's think about it this way. Northern Ireland is right now stuck in a situation where they are forced to have the pound as their currency, even though their biggest trading partner is actually Ireland. They are actually in a different. They are actually a much more Irish economy than they are a British economy, which means that their business cycle follows that of Ireland's, not that of Britain's. And that creates something of a problem when, for example, Ireland ends up in a deep recession and Britain is not, for example, because we have different currencies, we have different interest rates, we have different fiscal policies and so on. Yes.
So currently Northern Ireland receives massive subsidies from Westminster. Would you envision a similar amount of subsidies coming out from Dublin in your future unified country?
Actually, as I was going to say, I'll respond to that in a later point. So first of all, having the euro would benefit Northern Ireland. It would benefit them because it would facilitate trade between Northern Ireland and Ireland, trade that is of course mutually beneficial. And even more so though, Northern Ireland would benefit because they would have a strong position in Ireland. Right now, Northern Ireland is 3% of the UK's population. They are an afterthought. They are absolutely irrelevant politically. They are absolutely they are on absolutely no one's priority list, basically. Belfast is not an attractive. Like, why would you invest in Belfast when you can invest in London? You know, why would you do that? Whereas if they were a part of Ireland, Belfast would suddenly be the second biggest city in the country. Now that is a position of an economic powerhouse. That is not a position of this afterthought, last remaining colonial capital, which is what Belfast is today. So we can also say that Northern Ireland suffers from their status in the UK. We can just look. If you look at a map of railways, for example, over Ireland, you will notice that Ireland is full of railways in every direction. Northern Ireland has like 2 railway lines or something like that. This is simply because, well, the British government keeps Northern Ireland alive but doesn't really care about it beyond that, because why should they? It's not like they'll ever need them. So, and furthermore, with the event of Brexit, Northern Ireland is going to be very badly hurt. They get a lot of subsidies from the EU, subsidies that the Tory government has not guaranteed and likely will not guarantee to fund post-Brexit. Northern Ireland did not vote for Brexit either. They're being dragged out against their will, and this is yet another reason, because Northern Ireland within the EU with access to the European market at least has a fighting chance to develop. Now on to Ireland. So okay, why do we benefit from this? So first of all, we get, our country gets larger. We get a larger economy. We get economies of scale, as it's called. Yes.
So currently the UK is being politically forced to maintain as open borders as possible, both between Northern Ireland and the UK and Northern Ireland and Ireland. Given that the UK populace is really keen on closing borders, don't you think that will finally provide an excuse for the UK to close a border entirely?
No, because the UK benefits from having the open trade and open movements between Ireland and the UK as well. So no, the UK populace are keen on closing borders against Eastern Europe and the Middle East, but not so much towards Ireland. So that being said, so now we talked about the subsidies. Well, the truth is that economic studies that have been made, have been published very, very recently, have shown that Ireland would benefit in terms of GDP about 34 billion euro over the first 8 years. And yes, we would have to keep some subsidies. Not all the subsidies that the UK keeps, of course, but we would have to keep some. We would have to keep some of them. But this is the best investment we could ever make, because Northern Ireland is a poor economy that has an amazing potential to grow fast, the way that less developed economies tend to do. So we stand to make a very great return on that investment, both in terms of GDP and in terms of tax revenue and so on. And of course, a united Ireland would, as I said, increase trade between Northern Ireland and Ireland, which benefits both parties. And also having a larger country with a larger economy means Ireland gets more power within international institutions. We punch a little bit higher on the world stage, which of course gives benefits to us also economically through in different ways. So in summary, I would like to propose this motion because a united Ireland is a great affair for both parties. It's a great affair for everyone involved. And I thank you all for listening. I beg you to propose.